Imagine for a moment that every cell in your body is a tiny universe, constantly exchanging energy, information, and life itself. After 60, these universes begin to whisper reminders of their long journey, and how we respond to those whispers shapes not only the years we live, but the quality with which we inhabit them. There is a profound elegance in understanding that aging is not merely the passage of time, but the accumulation of choices, the quiet dialogue between our biology and our daily life. And the science we now have at our disposal can guide us toward vitality that many might have thought impossible. Movement is not merely an action we perform. It is the language through which our bodies communicate with themselves and the world around us. After 60, every step, stretch, and gesture becomes more than routine. It becomes a declaration of presence and vitality. Our muscles, tendons, and bones are not static structures, but dynamic systems that respond directly to the signals we send through activity. When we engage in even gentle resistance exercises, our bodies respond by reinforcing strength, preserving balance, and enhancing coordination, a reminder that biology is adaptable and resilient well into later years. Scientific studies reveal that sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that often accompanies aging, can be mitigated significantly through regular, mindful movement. Each repetition, each controlled motion stimulates muscle fibers, triggers hormonal responses, and encourages the synthesis of proteins essential for tissue repair. Equally important is the effect of movement on our cardiovascular system. Walking briskly, swimming or cycling strengthens the heart, improves circulation, and helps regulate blood pressure, creating a cascade of benefits for organs, tissues, and even cognitive performance. Beyond the measurable physiological advantages, movement carries profound neurological significance. The proprioceptive feedback we receive from balance exercises, stretching, or coordinated motion informs the brain about body position, helping prevent falls and maintaining agility. There is also a subtle psychological element. Movement cultivates a sense of agency over the body's abilities, a quiet empowerment that can reinforce motivation, confidence, and mental resilience. Engaging muscles and joints regularly sends a message to the body that it is valued, that its potential is recognized, and that it is capable of growth and adaptation, even as the years accumulate. In this sense, exercise becomes an intimate dialogue between the self and the body, a continuous negotiation in which attention, consistency, and care translate into preserved autonomy, energy, and strength, shaping not only how we move through the world, but how we experience the passage of time and the quality of life that accompanies it. The food we consume is far more than sustenance. It is a series of instructions for our cells, a dialogue between our choices and the intricate machinery that sustains life. After 60, the body's metabolism changes, digestive efficiency shifts, and nutrient absorption becomes more selective, which means the quality of what we eat has a profound impact on how we age. Proteins, for example, are not simply building blocks. They are signals that promote muscle repair, maintain organ function, and support immune resilience. Healthy fats, such as those from nuts, olive oil, and fatty fish, nourish the brain, stabilize hormones, and reduce inflammation, while colorful fruits and vegetables deliver antioxidants that protect DNA from oxidative stress, helping to preserve cognitive function and slow cellular wear. Timing and balance matter as well. Our circadian rhythms influence digestion, hormone release, and energy utilization. So a mindful approach to meals, neither rushed nor excessive, supports the body's natural cycles. Scientific studies have consistently demonstrated that diets rich in whole, unprocessed foods correlate with lower risks of chronic disease, better metabolic control, and longer lifespans, reinforcing the idea that what we choose to place on our plates is a form of self-directed medicine. Yet beyond the science, there is an almost meditative dimension to nourishment after 60. Eating mindfully, savoring flavors, and appreciating textures fosters a connection with the body that transcends nutrients alone. Meals become rituals that honor life, providing not just physical sustenance, but emotional and psychological comfort. Each bite can be an affirmation of vitality, a deliberate act that feeds not only muscles and neurons, but also the sense of agency over one's health. In this way, food embodies both power and poetry. It repairs, regenerates, and protects, while also reminding us that longevity is nurtured not in extremes or deprivation, but through balance, attentiveness, and the cultivation of patterns that respect the body's rhythms, respond to its needs, and celebrate the ongoing capacity for renewal that science continues to illuminate. Our brains are remarkable landscapes of complexity, more resilient and adaptable than we often realize, even after 60. Neurons, synapses, and the vast networks connecting them continue to respond to stimulation, challenge, and experience, proving that cognitive vitality is not a relic of youth, but a dynamic state we can actively nurture. Engaging the mind in meaningful, novel ways encourages neuroplasticity, the brain's capacity to reorganize itself, form new connections, and strengthen existing pathways, which underpins memory, focus, and problem-solving. Reading, learning new skills, practicing music, or even tackling puzzles is not mere pastime. It is an exercise in self-preservation, each effort generating a cascade of molecular and electrical activity that keeps neural circuits responsive and robust. Social interaction also plays a critical role. Conversation, shared experiences, and emotional engagement stimulate the prefrontal cortex, regulate stress responses, and support the release of neurotrophic factors that protect neurons from age-related decline. Nutrition intersects with cognition as well, influencing neurotransmitter production, reducing inflammation, and supporting myelin integrity, highlighting that brain health is inseparable from the body's overall physiological state. Even movement contributes indirectly to mental sharpness, as physical activity increases cerebral blood flow, promotes oxygen delivery, and encourages the growth of new neurons in key regions like the hippocampus, demonstrating the profound interconnectedness of body and mind. Importantly, cultivating curiosity and a sense of purpose serves as a psychological stimulus that reinforces cognitive resilience, motivating continued learning and engagement. In a broader sense, preserving mental clarity after 60 requires intentionality, the gentle but persistent commitment to challenge oneself intellectually, emotionally, and socially. It is not about achieving perfection or measuring against external benchmarks, but about fostering conditions where the brain can continue to adapt, thrive, and find meaning in each new experience. Where memories can be retained, ideas explored, and creativity expressed, creating a mental vitality that mirrors the body's strength and resilience, reminding us that aging need not diminish our capacity to think deeply, respond flexibly, and embrace life with alertness and engagement. Sleep is often overlooked as a simple pause in the day, but after 60, it becomes one of the most profound acts of renewal and repair our bodies can experience. During deep and restorative sleep, the brain engages in processes that are essential for cognitive function, clearing metabolic waste, consolidating memories, and recalibrating neural networks. The glymphatic system, a recently understood mechanism, becomes most active during these hours, flushing toxins that accumulate during waking life and protecting neurons from damage that could otherwise impair memory and focus. Simultaneously, the body undergoes physiological restoration. Growth hormones are released, tissues repair, immune function strengthens, and cardiovascular systems recalibrate, all contributing to resilience against disease and the preservation of vitality. The timing and quality of sleep are equally critical, as circadian rhythms govern hormone release, energy regulation, and cellular repair processes, meaning that consistent patterns of rest are not simply habits, but biological imperatives. In later life, changes in sleep architecture, lighter sleep, more awakenings, can be mitigated by intentional practices such as winding down routines, limiting stimulants, and creating environments that signal to the body it is time for restoration. Yet sleep is not merely a mechanical process. It carries emotional and psychological significance, providing the mind with space to integrate experiences, process emotions, and reduce stress. Chronic sleep deprivation, or disrupted patterns, can trigger inflammation, compromise immunity, and accelerate the biological signs of aging, emphasizing that the hours of rest we often take for granted are, in fact, essential for longevity. Beyond the physiological, there is a contemplative quality to embracing sleep. It reminds us that life is a cycle of exertion and recuperation, and that vitality is preserved not only through effort, but also through attuned surrender to our own rhythms. Recognizing sleep as a critical partner in health transforms how we approach daily life, encouraging us to honor periods of quiet renewal with the same care and intentionality we give to nutrition, movement, and mental engagement, integrating rest into the broader symphony of practices that sustain energy, resilience, and well-being as the years advance. The mind and body are inseparable partners, and after 60, the quality of our emotional life profoundly shapes physical health and longevity. Chronic stress, worry, or unresolved tension triggers a cascade of physiological effects, from elevated cortisol levels to inflammation, impaired immunity, and even accelerated cellular aging. Yet the reverse is equally powerful. Cultivating calm, gratitude, purpose, and presence can measurably enhance cardiovascular health, regulate hormones, and support immune resilience. Scientific studies show that practices such as mindfulness, meditation, or simply engaging in meaningful social connection modulate the nervous system, balancing sympathetic and parasympathetic activity, which translates into lower blood pressure, improved digestion, and a greater sense of ease in daily life. Emotional well-being is not a luxury, but a biological imperative, and it interacts dynamically with other systems we have nurtured: sleep, nutrition, exercise, and cognitive engagement. A positive, engaged mindset encourages adherence to healthy habits, strengthens resilience in the face of challenges, and even influences gene expression, suggesting that our internal state has the power to shape the molecular mechanisms of aging itself. Beyond the physiological effects, emotional well-being fosters a sense of coherence and purpose that transforms experience. Life after 60 is not merely about surviving years, but living them with depth, clarity, and engagement. Acts of kindness, creativity, reflection, and connection provide the mind with stimulation and the heart with meaning, creating feedback loops that support both mental and physical vitality. Learning to navigate stress with awareness to savor moments of joy, and to approach life with curiosity and acceptance reinforces the body's capacity for repair and resilience, reminding us that longevity is not simply a function of genetics or circumstance, but also of the attitudes, choices, and inner landscapes we cultivate. In this way, emotional health becomes a silent architect of vitality, shaping how we move, think, sleep, and nourish ourselves, illustrating that the pursuit of well-being after 60 is an integrative practice in which mind, body, and spirit coalesce, and that the quality of our inner life is as essential to longevity as any measurable intervention, highlighting that aging can be experienced not as decline, but as a period of remarkable adaptation, awareness, and growth. Lastly, there is the invisible, yet undeniable, influence of mindset and emotional well-being. Chronic stress triggers inflammation, disrupts sleep, and accelerates cellular aging. Yet compassion, gratitude, and presence have measurable benefits on cardiovascular health, immune function, and hormonal balance. The mind and body are not separate entities, but partners in the dance of life. And cultivating calm awareness and purposeful engagement can enhance longevity in ways that no supplement or regimen alone can replicate.